There's a certain likelihood, something beyond mere coincidence, that a particular event unfolds. For instance, I might mention a blue sedan, and precisely then, a blue sedan drives past. Now I hadn't spotted it. It was impossible, as it was concealed by a nearby structure. In that very instant, the blue sedan materializes. This is a classic illustration. Rigorous experimentation demonstrates that such occurrences are not simply happenstance. It would be superstitious to claim, this sedan appeared because someone just spoke about a blue sedan. Yes, this is a marvel, pure chance. But these coincidences occur more frequently than probability dictates. Yes, and this demonstrates it. This isn't for everyone, but if you've ever encountered a peculiar coincidence that you couldn't rationalize, continue watching. You recognize them. You think of an individual you haven't encountered in ages, and they message you unexpectedly. You meet a stranger who says precisely what you needed to hear at that moment, almost as if they were dispatched. You glance at your watch at exactly 11:11 p.m., 3 nights consecutively. You've dismissed them as coincidences, yet deep down, a part of you has always sensed this is more than mere chance. And you're correct. These are messages, and ancient civilizations understood this. The mystics abided by it, and the most eminent philosophers dedicated lifetimes to deciphering it. Today, however, they are disregarded, labeled as irrational, and dismissed. In this video, we will venture beyond the superficial. We'll reveal what synchronicities genuinely are, why they manifest in your life, and how to align with them so flawlessly that you'll find yourself reshaping reality in your favor instantly. From the moment of your birth, you were conditioned to perceive the world through a restrictive lens, one of logic, order, and predictability. As a youngster, you perceived the enchantment, noticed the patterns, and trusted your instincts. Gradually, however, the world instructed you to disregard those sensations. Anything that couldn't be quantified was categorized as imagination or absurdity. That was not by chance. You were conditioned to overlook the signs because a man who discerns patterns, a man who comprehends that reality is responsive to him, is not easily managed. He inquires, he operates differently, he heeds things others overlook. That man becomes a threat to a system founded on unquestioning compliance. And this notion that events in your life might align for a specific reason didn't originate from New Age boutiques or lifestyle magazines. It stemmed from men who perceived beyond the facade of reality, men who weren't merely intelligent. They were attuned, not just thinkers, but interpreters of something most individuals never even sense. Let's begin with Carl Jung, the individual who coined the term. Jung wasn't aiming to be mystical. He was endeavoring to make sense of what he observed repeatedly, in therapy, in his own existence, in the minds of people from all walks of life. He once had a patient who dreamt of a stag beetle. The following day, during their session, a live beetle flew into the window. He opened it. The same species. She experienced an emotional breakthrough. That moment became the pivotal point in her recovery. There's no scientific causation, no A leading to B, but the significance was undeniable. That's what Jung observed time and again. Thoughts, dreams, symbols, and real-world events aligning with pinpoint accuracy. So he introduced the term synchronicity, meaningful coincidence with no apparent cause, not random, not explicable by conventional logic, but real, potent, and patterned. He believed these were the vernacular of the unconscious, the signal penetrating the noise. Not merely personal, but archetypal, shared by all, signs from the deeper fabric of existence attempting to awaken you. Now consider Albert Einstein. He was a personal acquaintance and philosophical counterpart of Jung, but he didn't label them synchronicities because he encountered the same enigma from a different perspective. Physics. When he discovered quantum entanglement, he termed it spooky action at a distance. Two particles interconnected so that when you alter one, the other changes instantaneously, irrespective of their separation. Time, space, logic, all defied. And he found the implications unsettling, because if reality could respond in such a manner, it implied something far more intelligent was operating behind the scenes. Even Einstein, with all his mathematical rigor and discipline, once stated, "The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. It is the source of all true art and all science." He knew it, didn't wish to fully concede it, but he felt it. Then you have Nikola Tesla, the unconventional genius who didn't just perceive the pattern, he inhabited it. He declared, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. He perceived the structure beneath the illusion. He believed numbers possessed universal power, particularly 3, 6, and 9. He would circumambulate a building 3 times before entering. He saw signals in everything, from the resonance of machinery to the passage of lightning. People deemed him eccentric, but Tesla wasn't irrational. He was attuned. He knew the universe wasn't static. It was alive, responsive, aware. And when he created, he wasn't merely inventing. He was channeling. But what connects these men? They hailed from disparate disciplines, psychology, physics, and engineering. Yet they all arrived at the same unconventional truth. The world isn't random. Events don't simply occur. There are patterns, profound patterns, and those patterns communicate, sometimes in dreams, sometimes in numbers, sometimes in perfectly timed events that strike like a bolt of lightning to the soul. And when they manifest, you have 2 alternatives. Dismiss it or pay attention. The most brilliant minds of the preceding century didn't dismiss it. They studied it. They respected it. They cautioned us against ignoring it. Because once you acknowledge that synchronicities are real, you cease living by rote and begin listening for the signal. Reflect on your own life thus far. You've sensed it, experiencing a gut feeling not to take a particular route and later learning of an accident or delay precisely where you would have been. Looking at an old photograph and hours later, hearing from the person in it after years of silence. Contemplating leaving your job, and suddenly the world begins to echo that thought. Overheard conversations, random signs, videos, all conveying the same message as if the universe is responding to you. You utter a word you haven't used in ages, and moments later, someone else says it aloud. Same word, same intonation, entirely out of context. You enter a place you've never visited, yet somehow everything feels familiar. The aroma, the lighting, the arrangement. You pick up your phone to call someone only for their name to appear on your screen before you dial. You just, what are the odds? And then it transpires again.